Okay, good morning everyone. I don't have a video for this work that I've set for the home learning for Tuesday, so I'm doing a video just separate to it, and I'm going to go through it in detail with you. I found this worksheet. It's multiplying fractions, and I found this worksheet over here, which is different to the one that I've given you on the school website. That I think is going to be really helpful because it gives multiplying fractions in three different ways, of which you'll experience. One which is a simple normal fraction by normal fraction, and then you got amounts of, and we'll talk about that of in a bit, and then you got multiplying fractions with mixed numbers. Okay, so let's start with this over here, and we'll start with the first one on the top. It says 1 over 3. It might be a little bit blurry because I just took it from the internet. Times 1 over 3. The very simple rule is that when you're multiplying fractions, you're multiplying both the top and the bottom by each other. Okay, so we're going to be multiplying the numerators. Remember, this top bit's called the numerator, so 1 by 1, and then we're going to multiply the denominators by each other, and then we're going to simplify the answers. Okay, so 1 by 1 equals 1, 1 times 1 equals 1, and 3 times 3 equals 9. You can't simplify that anymore. 1/3 multiplied by 1/3 equals 1 over 9. We'll go again. 1/5 multiplied by 3/5. Okay, we're going to multiply the numerators together. We're going to multiply the denominators together. We multiply the two numerators. 1 times 3, which equals 3. And we're going to multiply 5 by 5, which equals 25. Can you simplify that? I don't believe so, because I don't think either number goes into 25 or 3. And 3, sorry. We'll go again. 2 over 5 multiplied by 3 over 10. Do the exact same again. Multiply, multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 10 is 50. Now, I know, I would suggest do another equal sign there, because 6 over 50 is actually a number that you can simplify. How do I know this? Well, both numbers are even. That's the best way for you to find out if you're struggling, is that if both numbers are even, the numerators and the denominators, you should be able to divide at least by 2. So let's divide by 2, and let's divide this one by 2. Remember, when you're making equivalent fractions from the previous week before half term, when you're making equivalent fractions, you've got to divide both numbers by 2, both the denominator and the numerator by the same amount. Here, divide 6 by 2 is 3, and 50 by 2 is 25. Okay, we decided earlier that 3 over 25 we can't simplify anymore. So that's the first one. That's what they call it, mild spicy. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing. Is we're going to do 3 questions from each. So when it comes to just 2 normal fractions, multiply the top, multiply the bottom, and then don't forget to simplify as well. That's really, really important. Okay, let's move on to ofs. Now, you need to remember this. Is very important, that of is equal to times. As long as you understand that forever, that of is equal to times. It's like an amount of bags of flour. How many bags of flour? You know, of it's a positive amount. So remember that it's multiply. How do we write that though if it's going to be 3/4? I'm going to write the question down. I always write the question down first. Of 40 is that you just change that of to a multiply sign first. And then this 40 you have to represent as a fraction, which sounds way more difficult than it actually is. A fraction is just how many ones there are, isn't there? So there are, how many ones are there? 40 ones. So it'd be 40 over 1. 5 is going to be 5 over 1. 6 is going to be 6 over 1. 2 is going to be 2 over 1. It goes on, it goes on. So that's how you work it out there. And then from there, it's very simply, again, like in the first activity, you're multiplying the tops and you're multiplying the bottoms. Denominators, numerators. 3 times 40. You're welcome to do that like this over here. It's not a problem, but I know that 4 times 3 is 12, times 10 is 120, and 4 times 1 is 4. So this is going to be a positive number. So it's 3/4 of 40. 3/4 of 40. What that means is that it's going to be a small... The actual answer is actually going to be a smaller amount, because if you're thinking about half of 40, it's 20, isn't it? So 3/4 is going to be about 30, isn't it? But we're going to do it properly. Now, again, we're going to simplify this number over here. And what I've spotted is actually the number 4 goes into both of these numbers. So that's very good. You could divide by 2 and then divide by 2 again. It's not a problem. But obviously, both numbers are even, so that's definitely possible. But I know that 4 goes into 120. The reason why I know it, because I know that 4 goes into 12. 4 goes into 12 3 times. And then I'm just going to add that 0 on again. And then 4 goes into 4, 1. So my answer is 30. 3/4 of 40 is 30. If you were able to spot the 3/4 of 40 is 30 even before the calculations, well done. That's really, really impressive. As you can see, the more complex they get, the longer your working out is. And if you miss out this working out, you're not going to get it at all. 2/9 of 18. 2 over 9. And I'm going to write the question out again because I'm good habits. 2 over 9. Change the of to times. And 18 is just 18 over 1 as a fraction. I multiply the tops. 18 times 2. Again, you can write it the side, but I know that it's 36. And then I'm going to say 9 times 1 is 9. Now, can 9 go into 36? Because that, just like, you know, like the 4s in the first question. No, it can't. 9, 18, 27, 36. Oh, it is. Sorry. It does. It goes in absolutely perfectly. So, divided by 9, divided by 9. Okay? So, there we go. It's over 1 because 9 divided by 9 is over 1. 9, 18, 27, 36 is 4. And the answer is 2/9 of 18 equals 4. See how this is 4 over 1? That's exactly the same as saying 4. It's 4 ones. I'm going to travel down. I'm going to see if there's anywhere that are going to be difficult to maybe simplify. Let's go 7/10 of 200 because I know that 7 is an interesting one to try and pair up. Okay, right. 7 over 10. Change off to 100. And by the way, you're welcome to do these questions as well. The work that you're doing at home. 200 over 1. 200 is 200 over 1. And there we go. 7 times 200. We don't do 7 times 200. We split the numbers up. I'm actually even going to write it. 200 is 2 times 100. 7 times 2, 14. Times 100 equals 1400. 1,400 over 10 times 1 is 10. Oh, yeah. So there you go. 10 divided by 10. And it's 140. Now, I've gone over a lot in the fractions about how when you have zeros on the end of each number and you're dividing them by each other, you can cancel them out because I can split this into 140 times 10. And then obviously 10 divided by 10 is 1. So it just becomes 140. Have I done 3? I think I have done 3. So there you go. That's the of calculations. And now we're going to get into the mixed numbers. Now the mixed numbers, you have to have an understanding. Sorry, excuse my creaking door. I might actually go and quickly fix it. Ready to go? Okay. Right, so we've got the first question is, I'm looking at the wrong screen. 1 and 1/8 times 1/3. You have to have that knowledge from the week before on how to convert between improper fractions and mixed numbers to be able to do this. Because the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make them both either an improper fraction or a normal fraction. So you see how this fraction over here, 1 over 3, don't do anything to that yet. You need to change this over here. Should I go the long way? Yeah, I'm going to go the long way around this. I'm going to just do some doodling for a bit. 1 and 1/8. You need to understand what 1 whole represents. What does 1 whole represent? What 1 whole represent? It could be 1 over 1. It could be 2 over 2. Not 2 over 3. It could be 3 over 3. It could be 4 over 4. It could go on. Whatever. 1 can be any fraction you want it to be because it is representative of a whole. That being said, look at the fraction next to the whole number. The fraction is over 8. So shouldn't we then say that 1 is 8 over 8? Yes, we should, because that is the accompanied fraction. It's 1 whole and 8. It's like if we had 2 cakes and we cut them exactly the same. Let's do it. Oh no, I don't know what I put myself in for here. Let's say that's 1/8. It's going to be the exact same where I'm going to be cutting these 1, 2, 3. Oh, one more. Cutting these into 8 slices. It should be the exact same size. Oh, that's pretty good. As you can see, they're the exact same sizes, except that this is a whole cake. This has only got 1 piece. See, look, 1 over 8. That's only got 1 piece. So when you're converting, you need to understand that the whole number is going to be over whatever the fraction is. So it's over 8. It's going to be 8 over 8. And we need to add that 1 over 8. So the answer is 1 and 1/8 is 9 over 8. Okay? I'm going to keep practicing. I might do 4 questions with this one. And then simply we multiply by 1 over 3. 9 times 1 is 9. 8 times 3 8, 16, 24. Okay, 24. Can we simplify that? I think we can. I think 3 goes into these. So we divide that by 3 and divide 24 by 3. 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 24. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So it's 8 times to make 3 over 8. So there you go. 3 over 8 is our answer. Don't worry, we'll go through 4. 2 and 1/5 times 3/5. Change this one over here first. Change it. Okay, you have to change it first. I've got 2 5 over 5s. As you can see, I've got 2 5 over 5s, and I've got a 1 over 5. Just add those top numbers up. You've got 11 over 5. So that is equal to 11 over 5. You could do, okay, now I'm going to show you, remind you of the rule. Multiply the bottom, add the top. 2 times 5, but you need to understand why. You need to understand why you multiply by the bottom. Okay, times by 3 over 5. 11 times 3 is 33. 5 times 5 is 25. Oh, it's still a top-heavy fraction, actually, which is good. So it's still a top-heavy fraction. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and put it back into a mixed number. Just want to make sure 100% 33. Yeah, so it's 33 over 25. So it's still a top-heavy fraction. I want to put it back into a mixed number. What is going to be one whole here, guys and girls? It's going to be 25 over 25. Okay, and what's going to be left? So it'll be 25 to 33. It's going to be 8. So that's going to equal 8 over 25. So that's going to equal that 33. So therefore, let's make it a little bit neater. Sorry. So it's 25 over 25 plus whatever the rest is, 8 over 25. Can you see how 25 and 8 make that 33? The reason why I've done it is because that denominator is 25. So it's 1 and 8 out of 25, which I don't have to simplify. Okay, we keep going. Let's keep going. Let's do this one over here. This is an interesting one. 5 and 5/6 times 2/3. Okay, multiply by the bottom to add the top. For this one, I could write 5 over 5s and keep adding them together, but all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to multiply 5 by 6 because it's 5 6 over 6s. So 5 by 6 is 30, and I need to add the 5. Okay, there you go. Which makes it 35 over 6 multiplied. Oh, this is a long one. 2 over 3. It's not that bad actually, because I need to double 35, which is 70, and then 6 times 3 is 18. The number is top heavy, which means it's an improper fraction. So what I can do is I'm actually going to simplify this before I actually change it. The reason why I'm going to simplify it is because I know that both numbers are divisible by 2. 70 divided by 2 is 35. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And now it makes it a little bit easier for me actually to change it back into a mixed number. So let's do a 9 times table. 9 to get to 35. So how many 9 over 9s are there? 9, 18, 27. There's 3. 27 to 35 is quite a bit. There's 8. So it's 8 over 9. There you go. 3 and 8 over 9. And then we go, let's go to one with the last one, which has 2 mixed numbers in. So you've got 1 and 6 over 11 times 3 and 12 over 14. Oh, this is going to be a tough one because those denominators are quite large. Wish me luck. Okay, so 11 over 11. So so multiply the bottom, add the top. Multiply the bottom, add the top. That's the rule, but we should understand that we're just adding 11 over 11 to 6 over 11. Okay, so multiply the top. 1 times 11 is 11. 11 plus 6 is 17 over 11. Multiply 3 by 14. Don't be afraid to just do a little quick calculation. I believe it's 42. 14, 28. 28 plus 14 is 42. Yes, I think it's 42. So that it's 42, and then I need to add 12, which is 54. So it's got 54 over 14. I think that's correct, yeah. So now I've got my 2 calculations. Oh my gosh, this is a very difficult one. So if you're in year 5, this is a really good challenge for you guys if you're really enjoying this and you're finding it quite attainable. We need to now multiply both numbers. So let's do that then. Okay. The rule is multiply, multiply. Simple as that. I'm just going to need a little bit more space, that's all. I just need to make sure I'm not doing it over where my camera is. So let's do 54 times 17 on this one. And then 11 times 14 over here. And then we're good to go. That might be too small, actually. Okay. 4 times 7, 7, 4, 21, 28, 20. 7 times 5 is 35 plus 2 is 37. We're multiplying by 10. We're not multiplying by 1, so I'm going to put a 0 there, and now I need to multiply by 1, and the answer is 54. Add my two amounts together. 11. 9. 918. So that is my top number, 918. Oh, my days. Okay, and then they really do get hard in that last bit, don't they? 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 11 times 10 is 110. See, I said 11. What's 11 times 10? Because remember, from multiplication, that's times 4, and that one's times 10. All right, let's add them together. Doesn't matter what pen I'm using. 5, 1, 154. 918 over 154. That's crazy. That's crazy, crazy stuff. I'm going to half both. Do you know why I'm going to half both? Because they both have final digits that are even. Let's half 918. Right, we've got 450, we've got 5, and we've got 4. So that is 459. I just partitioned all the numbers. Okay, now we're halving 154. So half of 100 is 50. Half of 50 is 25, and half of 4 is 2. So we've got 77 there. We've got 459 over 77. So now it's about guessing. I want a space. I want a space. Should we just go? I want to go on a new page. So we've done pretty well. We've got to a pretty decent answer now. But obviously, if you want to go further, you can. What was that answer? So 459 over 77. So if you want to go further, 459 over 77. If you want to go further, you want to turn it into a mixed number. So what you want to say is, how many 77 over a 77s are there? Now what I would do is I would just go trial and error here. And you'd guess how many 77 over 77s there are. So I'm going to guess, and remember that equals 1, that equals 2, that equals 3 if you add them up. I'm going to guess that that's about 5. So let's do 77 times 5. Because I'm talking about 459. 5 times 7 is 35. And then 5 times 7 is 35 again, and then makes 38. 385. Oh, it's really close. I think it's 5. However, what I need to do, though, is... It doesn't go in perfectly, obviously, because it's 3 and 5. It's still ages away. So how I find out what the rest of the fraction is I just need to subtract to find out. Please don't worry if you didn't get this, but this last question is crazy hard, and it's interesting actually to see how the progress of the actual lesson goes through. Not lesson, but actually this is kind of through the curriculum. Progress through this actual concept gets harder and harder and harder, and this is as hard as it gets. So I'm just quickly calculating what 15 minus 8 is. 15 minus 8 is 7. And 3 minus 3, so 74. 74 over 77. I just want to quickly check I've got it all right. It's 15 minus 8 is 74. Okay, right, so it's 459 and 74 over 77. I think I've still got that wrong. So So there you go. 5 whole numbers, 74 over 77. That is one of the tougher questions I've done, and I like this calculation. This is a nice worksheet because it goes ridiculous to ridiculous really very well. The actual worksheet that you're going to be doing, let me show you what the worksheet is that you're actually going to be doing today. So, and I'll probably go through a couple of those questions as well. Oh, it was right there. So, okay. So this is what you're going to be doing today. As you can see, they are pretty simple because they are going to be similar to the ones in the second round. Instead of saying of, though, they just did multiply. So as you can see, you multiply 3 by 3, which is 9, and then 4 by 1, which is 4, and then you split it into a mixed number, which is base of last year. The challenges are, I would like you all to attempt, obviously, this column over here, and then I'd like you to try to see if you can convert back to a mixed number. The lesson on mixed number to improper fractions is also on the video as well, so you should be absolutely fine. I think that is all. I hope you have a nice week. I'm back in school. So yeah, I miss you all. Hope you're all well. See you later.